Hello everybody. Today I wanted to make a video talking about the Marvel pre-release and my experience at the Marvel pre-release. I normally do these kind of like pre-release reflection videos, and I really enjoy making them because I really enjoy going to pre-releases and playing in them. So I figured, hey, let's just do one for Marvel, a set that, in all honesty, I personally am not a really big Marvel fan. I never cared for the comics, didn't watch any of the movies. But I did go to the pre-release and I just wanted to record my unfiltered thoughts about it. And I figured what better way to talk about the pre-release than actually show you. This is the deck that I built for pre-release, minus obviously all the lands. I took those out, but I figured, hey, why not just kind of showcase my deck a little bit, talk about pre-release, the experience, and what it was like. So yeah, let's just start it. So the one thing I did want to say kind of at the very beginning before I even start kind of showing off some of these cards is, like I said earlier, I'm not a Marvel fan. I have never really been a big Marvel head. So I didn't know what to expect going into this set, other than obviously, you know, it's another UB set, a lot of legendary creatures. I actually didn't look up like didn't look at really any of the spoilers or anything like that, so I didn't even know what I was going to build going into it. But I can say that despite all of that, I did have a really fun time, as I normally do when I play Magic, and you know, the set felt very good to play. I think one of the things I always talk about with these sets is like the set playing, like, in my opinion, the bare minimum for any of these Magic sets is obviously like the set just has to be fun to play, right? Like it feels like that has to be the bare minimum, or like that you know, the Magic dev people have to do. And I can say that, you know, this time around they definitely knocked it out of the park. I thought they knocked it out of the park for the other sets as well, so like Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all of like the UB sets that I didn't particularly care too much about. I thought that the design team, you know, nailed it. It was a really good set, a lot of fun to play. So I just think, like, in general, every time I go out to pre-release and I play these sets, the actual like gameplay of the set itself feels a lot of fun to play, and so that always kind of like raises my experience and my fun of the set. But I also, like I said, I do think that is kind of like the bare minimum that you have to do when developing a Magic set, is make it playable. So with that said, right now I'm just kind of trying to spread out my deck just to kind of talk about it, and I'll go in depth a little more about each kind of individual card, but yeah, kind of overall it was a really fun set to go out and play limited for. I was really excited to actually get out there and play some more Magic in person. Yeah, a really fun set. The set itself felt pretty slow. I think the few things I knew going into the set was like limited, there's going to be like very little removal. The set like speed is going to be somewhere between like medium to long, and all of those things I felt were pretty correct. The one thing I will say is I felt like there was a lot more removal than I expected. I expected most decks to have like, I don't know, 1 or 2 pieces just by the way that people were talking, but like I was able to pick up like 1, 2, 3, 4 plus like 3 combat tricks, so I felt the removal was actually there quite well. But I know a lot of people have been saying that there's not a lot of removal in this set, but you know, only one limited game, so take my words. Only one limited night, so take my words with a grain of salt there. Yeah, so let's start talking about some of the cards, some of the sets, some of the cool things about the set. I will say one thing that was really cool that I enjoyed a lot about this set was the art. And obviously, like, if you see here, I have this Avengers Assemble in the comic book art here. Very cool pickup. But I liked that you were able to kind of get this art. It felt like this art was a lot more accessible to get. So, like, I have this Avengers Assemble. I obviously have this Storm Wind Rider here in kind of like the comic book art. I have these two I got more Take Up the Shields in the like full art than I did in this art, which I thought was cool. And then there was like other stuff I pulled. Let me see if I can grab it here. I got this 10 rings also in my pre-release pack. And again, these are all pre-release stuff. I didn't buy any extra packs. Haven't opened any extra packs of Marvel. This was everything that was within the 6 packs at my pre-release. So yeah, I really enjoy. One of the things I've missed about opening Magic packs have been the cool arts. Obviously, Strixhaven had Mystical Archive, but then they lowered the hit rate on Mystical Archive. But I really enjoyed sets like Outlaws or Wilds of Eldraine that always had kind of some special arts that were easily accessible and fun to hunt. And I really wish they came back with those. It seems like obviously for a set that's kind of based all around comic books, they were willing to kind of go the extra mile. But I really hope that this is something that they do kind of more frequently. But who knows? I don't know if they will, but I think they really should. Because the fact that I was able to get, so many different arts, and I might have gotten lucky too. I definitely am not discounting that. But the fact that we have like, special arts, this is a common card. But the fact that we have like the full art for the common cards, it kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings, where you were able to get like a lot of the Lord of the Rings cards in these full arts. It's just like a fun pickup to see within the pack. So that was really, really cool. Okay, so going into the actual gameplay, you can obviously see I'm in Bant here. One of the things that I found, and it seems like it was the case with everyone who was playing, was the archetypes that are in the set. So obviously each 2-color combo has like some sort of archetype. Didn't seem to actually matter that much. Yes, there's synergies here and there. So for example, I actually have the Ant-Man. This is the Simic signpost uncommon, which is 1/1 counters. I have a little bit of synergy. Obviously, like all my Take Up the Shields put 1/1 counters. 1/1 counter synergy here. I think those are the most of the 1/1 counters. The Thing can get 1/1 counters on himself. Beast cares about 1/1 counters. But even then, it felt like pulling signposts. It felt like I didn't actually really need to care too much about going for the signposts and playing whatever the signpost was. The set really felt like more just grab the strongest card you can find and play that. So, for example, I opened Storm, and Storm is in Selesnya, and I didn't really have any good green cards, but I was like, Storm is just a good 4/4 flyer. I should just play her anyways. And then that's kind of how I ended up with, you can see I splashed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green cards. And I really only took Storm because I was like, well, she's just a good card. And yeah, it felt like the entire set was just that. So rather than trying to play on like the archetypes, you just kind of chose legendary creature that does damage, right? And I felt like that's kind of how the Marvel set was a little bit presented to us. So I don't know if that's a good. I kind of know. I don't like it a lot, but I do kind of see why Marvel did that, because Marvel obviously cares about all of these like cool characters, right? Like the Thing, Captain Marvel, Okoye, Storm, Beast, Ant-Man, Miss Marvel. Like I have so many, Red Guardian, so many like legendary named creatures, right? So the fact that the set felt like I was just playing big legendary named creature kind of makes sense with the set, even though that is not my preferred way to play. With that said, there are obviously some like synergies. I talked about Ant-Man having the 1/1 synergies. That was pretty good. Obviously, Avengers Assemble was my bomb. This was like the card I basically wanted to play at all points in time. Flash heroes I control get +2/+2, and then if I attacked with a hero or a hero entered the battlefield, I draw an extra card on my end step. Extremely powerful. This was basically my win con. Like if I got this, I essentially won the game. It was really hard to remove. I think I only had like 2 games where it got removed off the board. I think Web Up actually can remove it. Yes, it can. It can exile a target non-land permanent. So there is some counterplay to it, but there was not a lot. So getting Avengers Assemble on the board was really important. Okay. After talking about Avengers Assemble, some of the other kind of cool key notes to talk about. I want to talk about Political Triumph. definitely. This set and Strixhaven both had like these white 1-drop enchantments that were really, really powerful. For Strixhaven, it was like Graduation Day, I think was the name of it. The Silver Cool one that put 1/1 counters on creatures when you targeted them. Political Triumph was just another card that I felt was really, really powerful. Whenever a creature you control enters, you get to scry one, so you could like play this on turn 1. Then every other creature you play, you get like to set the top of your deck, right? When you get 4 plan counters on it, you sacrifice it. Your entire board gets bigger with 1/1 counters, and you draw. It's just really, really good. So yeah, like I said, I don't know what it is about like Magic design now, where we're seeing a lot of the same stuff, like powerful 1-drop white enchantments. But this was a really, really good card. Agents of Atlas, I think, is the one I'm thinking of. No, Brave Brawler is what I'm thinking of. There we go. Brave Brawler was another card that I've seen a lot. The 2-drop lifelink for 2 damage. I forgot the name of the one in Strixhaven, but Strixhaven had another one that the Strixhaven effect was like it. I believe it was 1 mana, sacrifice itself to destroy an enchantment or artifact. But these like 2-drop lifelink creatures are so good. Especially this one that has the power up that you can put 2 more counters on them. It was super nice. Obviously, with the hero tag, it seems to synergize with the heroes. But the fact that it has lifelink too, that you can get out really early, just felt very, very good. I think those are kind of the 2 cards I wanted to really, really talk about. Everything else was mostly just like good stuff. Shield Deployment Drone was very nice, especially if I had Political Triumph, because this basically gives me 2 plan counters for it. That was very good. But yeah, everything else was just like kind of whatever was best in slot at the time. Take Up the Shield also felt very good. It's puts a 1/1 counter on target creature, give it lifelink indestructible. Really, really good combat trick. Able to extend the game with lifelink and get you out of sticky situations. These all felt very good to play. Yeah, I mean, everything else was just like good stuff, right? Like, I didn't really care too much about these like second effects. I actually never triggered Storm or Marvel's secondary effect. All I cared was that they were 4/4s with flying, which is just like good. Okoye was nice. Also comes in with some soldier tokens. The tokens control have first strike. Didn't really matter too much, but the fact that it was 4 mana for 3 bodies just ended up playing out very, very well. So that was really cool. I wanted to talk a little bit about my removal. I obviously had, so Web Up and Supervillain Lockup are just like hard removals. They are put under enchantment, so you exile them until these leave the battlefield. But I never had anyone remove these off the battlefield, so just 2 solid enchantment removals, and then 2 kind of bounce spells. This one's an exile spell. Let's talk about this one real quick. This is just a bounce spell. It goes back to the library, and then you can have a target creature connive. So another synergy for 1/1 counters for like all my 1/1 stuff. And then Secret Invasion was really cool. You basically get to exile a target creature and then have one of your creatures become that creature. So I actually had like a play where I had a 1/1 token, like a 1/1 soldier token, that I end up casting Secret Invasion on. So like I basically turned my 1/1 token into one of my opponent's creatures and got rid of a creature that my opponent has. Just a solid card altogether. And yeah, I think that's like, I do want to talk a little bit about my lands actually. So these are the lands I had. Obviously, one fixing land. This one is a Surveil land, enters untapped, and it can filter a land. So Surveillance Room was pretty good. But let me talk about Avengers. Avengers Tower is so good in this set. You can add 1 mana of any color to cast a hero spell, which obviously in 3 colors with a lot of heroes was super good. But the important part is this activated ability. You basically get to look at the top 3 cards and take a hero and put it into your hand. The amount of times where I was at like 0 cards in hand, and I just activated this ability and just grabbed myself a hero for free, it was very, very good. So big shout outs to Avengers Tower, very nice land there. Very good, kind of like secondary effect. Yeah, the set felt pretty good to play. I ended up going 6-0, so I didn't drop a single game. So obviously my deck was doing something correctly. But as I said, it felt like it was just play legendary creature, do good thing. I will say an interesting thing that I did notice, which kind of also makes sense with a set that's based around heroes, is black felt very underrepresented. I felt that was the case also in like Avatar, right? Where Avatar, since black didn't coordinate with any like bending, black felt very, very weak to play. It felt the same in this set, and I think they tried to balance it out by like doing the villains, right? So if you have villains and villains are in the color black, you might be able to come up with like a villain deck. But everyone that I played against, like I don't think I played against a single person who played black at all. And I think I played against every other color except for black. It just seemed like black was really, really weak, which again, I can totally see why, considering it's a hero set. I know that they don't try to do that, but I know that it doesn't always pan out that way. So that's another thing that I just noticed. But overall, I had a lot of fun with Marvel Superhero. I don't know. To be honest, I probably am not going to buy too much product of this. It's just not my cup of tea. I know it's some other people's cup of tea, and it is. If it is, you know, go for it. Please enjoy the set as you wish to enjoy it. I want more people to be able to enjoy Magic. I just know me personally, this is probably the only product I'm gonna buy of this set. But there's a lot of good things that I do see of this set that I hope that they're taking and will use for future sets and future in-universe sets as well. Specifically, I really like the gameplay. I really liked the number of art cards that I got, and like the art treatment that they do have on these cards is really cool. Just seeing more art cards was fun to open, right? So like when you're at pre-release, I'm like, I pulled Avengers Assemble. I'm like, oh cool, look at this Avengers Assemble in this art. It's really, really cool. I love those experiences, and I want to make sure I have more of them at pre-release, and I definitely want to make sure I have more of them in sets that are not Universes Beyond. Yeah, there are my unfiltered thoughts about Marvel's pre-release. Like I said, this is kind of just my experience with my specific deck. I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of different experiences. If you would up to share your experience, please leave it in the comments below. I love talking about shared experiences, so I'm happy to talk a little bit about Marvel's pre-release. Thank you guys so much for watching. While you're down in the comments, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!